The little human moved quickly through the cluttered lab, his small fingers tracing the curves of strange devices scattered across the metal tables. Sparks flickered from a half-finished gadget, and he barely flinched, eyes bright with excitement. Around him, towering machines hummed, wires twisted like snakes, and small screens blinked with alien symbols he had not yet fully understood. He was the youngest on the station, barely 12, but he carried himself with the confidence of someone who had already seen worlds others had not. Honestly, how does he even survive in this lab without frying himself? One of the older scientists muttered, leaning against a railing, shaking his head. His laughter was sharp, cold, echoing against the metal walls. Little genius, my foot. He'll blow up something sooner or later. The boy didn't hear them. He had learned long ago to work in silence, letting the adults chatter and sneer while he observed. His curiosity was a flame they could not touch, a fire that burned brighter each time they dismissed him. Today he focused on a small orb pulsing faintly on the corner table. Its surface shimmered with colors he had never seen before, colors that seemed alive, almost breathing. Careful with that, another voice warned. It's from the Ark's 7 shipment. Dangerous. The boy looked up briefly, his brown eyes steady. Dangerous to who? He asked softly, but loud enough to carry over the hum of machines. If it reacts, maybe it's trying to talk to us. The adults exchanged glances, amusement dancing on their faces. Talk? It's an object, not a friend, one said, but there was tension under their mockery. Something about the orb made their skin crawl. They didn't understand, but he did. He always did. He leaned closer, running a finger along the orb's surface. It pulsed, faster now, almost like a heartbeat. His pulse matched it unconsciously. The hum of the lab faded around him, the voices becoming distant echoes. His mind raced, fitting patterns together, connecting things the adults had never noticed. Why do you bother with toys? One of the scientists sneered again, stepping closer. There's real work to be done, calculations, experiments that matter. You're wasting everyone's time. The boy didn't move, didn't flinch. Maybe your work is boring, he said simply. The words were quiet, but sharp, like a stone skipping across water. He turned back to the orb, speaking softly, almost as if the object could hear him. Show me your secret. I know you're more than this shell. The orb vibrated under his touch. A faint whisper, almost like a voice, reached his ears. The sound was strange, alien, melodic in a way that made his chest tighten. His heartbeat quickened. The adults stiffened, noticing the reaction. Did it just respond? One whispered nervously. It's impossible, another said, eyes wide, but the fear was there. The orb pulsed again, brighter, sending waves of light across the table. The boy's lips curved into a tiny smile. This was what he lived for, the impossible, the unexplained, the moments no one else could see. He lifted the orb, holding it carefully in both hands. His mind was racing, decoding the vibrations, the subtle pulses. It's trying to tell me something, he murmured. Something important. Don't touch it, one of the adults shouted suddenly, a hand raised, but he was already too late. The orb leapt slightly from his palms, not with violence but as if it wanted freedom. The light from it spread across the lab, brushing the walls, the machines, even the faces of the adults. Their laughter died, replaced by a tense silence. The boy's heart pounded in his chest, but he felt no fear. Only understanding. Only curiosity. The orb was alive in a way the adults could not grasp. He tilted it slightly, listening to the hum, feeling it resonate deep in his chest. You're amazing, he whispered, though whether to the object or himself he did not know. Around him, the adults whispered among themselves, unsure if what they had seen was real or a trick of their eyes. I told you it would be dangerous, one finally said, though his voice wavered. The boy looked up at him, and for the first time he saw hesitation, uncertainty. Something he had never seen before in the grown-ups who ruled the station. They laughed at me, he said quietly, more to himself than anyone else. They laughed at me because they couldn't understand. But I can understand. His fingers traced patterns in the air, feeling the invisible words hidden in the orb's pulses. He could sense them, know them, even speak them in ways he could not yet voice. The adults watched, uneasy, as the boy worked in silence, oblivious to their stares. The impossible was happening in front of them. The boy's mind, so small and underestimated, was touching something larger than any of them had imagined. And in that moment the laughter faded, replaced by something heavier, something like awe. The orb's light dimmed, settling into a gentle glow, but the boy's chest still raced. He had glimpsed something extraordinary, and nothing would ever make him feel small again. He knew the station would soon test him, challenge him, even try to break him, but he had learned a secret that no one else could touch. The laughter was gone, but the journey had just begun. His eyes flicked toward the cargo bay, toward the crates marked for ARC 7, and a tiny grin formed. There were more secrets waiting, more whispers of alien intelligence, and he would find them all. For the first time, the little genius felt truly unstoppable. The boy slipped quietly through the narrow corridor of the space station, his small frame moving like a shadow. Ahead, the cargo bay doors loomed, massive and reinforced, holding secrets no one dared approach lightly. He had heard whispers about the shipment, an alien beast captured from a distant planet, dangerous and unpredictable. Everyone was terrified of it. Everyone except him. Curiosity pulled him forward like a magnet. The bay was dark except for the soft glow of warning lights. Crates lined the walls, each one humming with energy, but one crate at the center vibrated differently, a deep thrum that made the floor beneath his feet hum. He crouched low, eyes scanning the edges of the crate, noticing scratches, dent marks, and faint claw prints. Something alive was inside, something powerful. "What are you doing here?" a voice growled behind him. He spun, heart leaping. An engineer, stocky and tall, loomed in the doorway, eyes narrowed. "I'm just checking the energy readings," the boy said calmly, though adrenaline surged through him. "It's different. Something's not right." The engineer snorted. "Not right? It's a beast from ARC 7. Dangerous. You shouldn't be near it. Do you want to die before you even get to call yourself a genius?" The boy's lips twitched into a faint smile. "Maybe I can talk to it," he said softly. The engineer laughed harshly, shaking his head. "Talk? You're dreaming, kid. Stay back." Ignoring the warning, he crouched closer. His fingers traced the crate's surface, feeling vibrations through the metal. It pulsed like a heartbeat, strong and erratic. Then, without warning, a sound echoed from inside, a low growl, deep and terrifying, vibrating through the walls. The boy froze, listening, and a thrill ran through him. He understood the tone, the rhythm, even if he couldn't yet form the words. The engineer's eyes widened. "I told you. Stay away." He stepped forward, but the boy raised a hand. The growl shifted, almost softening as if responding. His pulse matched it, quickening and slowing, weaving with the alien rhythm. Then the crate shuddered violently. Metal screeched as locks failed under pressure. The boy's heart pounded, but not with fear. He felt exhilaration. The crate's lid burst open with a deafening clang, and the alien lunged out. Massive, sleek, with scales that shimmered in the red light, it snarled, eyes glowing with raw intelligence. Every muscle tensed, claws digging into the metal floor. The engineer stumbled back, panicked, while alarms blared throughout the bay. The boy didn't move away. He raised a hand slowly, speaking softly, murmuring in clicks and tones he had started to understand from earlier experiments. The alien froze mid-step, ears twitching, eyes scanning him with suspicion. The room seemed to hold its breath. You can calm it?" the engineer whispered, disbelief mixed with fear. "I think I can talk to it," the boy said, voice steady despite the chaos. He leaned closer, speaking in careful, rhythmic tones. The alien's growls softened, the snarls retreating to low hums. It stepped back, then crouched, its gaze never leaving him. The engineer swallowed hard, shaking his head. This isn't possible." The boy ignored him. He reached out a tentative hand, hovering near the alien's glowing scales. It sniffed, low and cautious, then nudged his palm gently with its snout. His heart leapt. He had done it, made first contact. But the station was not safe yet. Lights flickered violently, and the hum of failing circuits echoed through the bay. Power surged and machinery sparked. The alien stiffened, ears flat, sensing danger before anyone else. It let out a warning growl, eyes locking on the nearest engineers. Panic rippled through the room as sparks arced dangerously near the control panels. "Everyone back," the engineer shouted, fear finally overtaking his skepticism. People scrambled as machines hissed and groaned under overload. The boy stayed calm, stepping forward, guiding the alien with clicks and subtle gestures. It moved with him, weaving through the chaos, muscles coiled and ready. The alien suddenly lunged at a falling crate that threatened to crush a technician. In a blur of speed, it shoved the crate aside with its massive shoulder, eyes meeting the boy's. He smiled faintly. They understood each other. The beast's loyalty, its intelligence, was clear. He could communicate with it in ways no one else could. Alarms faded slightly as the immediate danger passed, but tension remained. The engineer finally approached, trembling. "Kid, how did you do that?" The boy looked at him, voice soft but firm. I listened. I tried to understand. That's all it ever wanted to. His eyes flicked back to the alien, now calm, sitting at his side. The creature's chest rose and fell in slow, steady breaths, tail swishing gently. It was alive, aware, and it recognized him. This changes everything, the engineer whispered. The boy nodded, feeling the weight of the moment. He had been underestimated, laughed at, dismissed. Now, his knowledge of alien language and behavior was the only thing that had saved lives, and possibly the station itself. He looked around at the adults, their faces pale with shock and awe. For the first time he felt the thrill of being truly seen, not for his size, not for his age, but for his mind. And he knew deep inside this was only the beginning. The alien had secrets yet to reveal, and he was ready to listen. As he guided the creature back toward a safer corner of the bay, his pulse still racing, a thought sparked in his mind. Other mysteries waited, darker and more dangerous than this one. But for now he had earned their attention. The boy genius and the alien beast had met. And nothing on the station would ever be the same again. The boy sat cross-legged in the corner of the lab, the alien beside him, its scales faintly glowing in the dim emergency lights. He had spent hours observing it, listening to its low hums and clicks, repeating the tones softly under his breath. Each sound was a word, each pause a sentence. The alien had begun responding, tilting its head, twitching its ears, moving with a rhythm that matched his own. He had never felt more alive, more certain that he had unlocked something extraordinary. Are you really talking to it? Whispered a young technician peeking through the doorway. Her eyes were wide with wonder and fear. I don't even understand what it's saying. I do, the boy replied, his voice steady, eyes fixed on the creature. It's telling me things we can't see. About the station, about dangers we don't even notice yet. The alien let out a low, rolling vibration. Its eyes flickered toward the main control panel. Sparks danced along the wires, machines shuddered, and the lights flickered violently. The boy froze, realizing what the creature was signaling. There's a power surge, he said, his heart racing. Something's wrong with the system. It's not natural. The technician gasped. But the engineers just checked everything this morning. The boy shook his head. They missed something. It's subtle. But the alien sees it, feels it. He ran a hand along the creature's sleek back, murmuring clicks and soft tones. The alien's body tensed, muscles coiling, ready to react. Suddenly, alarms blared across the station. A corridor flooded with sparks as panels exploded. The technician screamed, stumbling backward. The boy remained calm, whispering the strange language he had learned. The alien responded instantly, leaping between the boy and the nearest hazard, claws scraping against metal, chest glowing with a warning pulse. Stop! An engineer shouted, rushing in. Get that thing under control before it. He froze as the alien growled, low and measured, keeping his distance yet clearly listening to the boy's words. The tension in the room was unbearable. Every eye was on the boy, unsure whether to trust him or fear him. The boy looked at the engineer. It's not attacking. It's protecting. I can guide it. But we need to act fast or the whole station could go down. The engineer swallowed, disbelief in his eyes. You're serious? I've never been more serious, the boy said. He pressed his hands together, forming soft patterns in the air as he spoke, letting the alien understand the plan. Its tail twitched, eyes narrowing, then it sprinted toward a failing power conduit, muscles coiled like springs. Sparks flew and the metal floor groaned, but the creature moved with precision, dislodging debris, nudging panels back into place. The boy followed, murmuring instructions. The alien's hums harmonized with his words, forming a strange duet that no human else could comprehend. Engineers stared, frozen in awe as disaster unfolded. One of them finally found their voice. I can't believe it. It's listening to him? It's following instructions? Yes, the boy said simply. It understands me. And I understand it. Together we can fix this. Minutes passed in tense silence, broken only by the hum of the alien and the boy's whispered tones. Slowly the system stabilized. Lights returned to normal, panels stopped sparking, and the station's hum steadied. The alien's chest rose and fell in steady rhythm, tail curling lazily around the boy's legs. Relief washed over him, but he knew it was temporary. The boy's mind raced. If the alien could sense these surges, these hidden dangers, there must be more he had not noticed. He crouched beside it, studying its eyes. There's something else, he whispered. You know more than I do. Help me see it. The alien tilted its head, clicking softly. Its gaze moved toward a sealed hatch in the far wall. The boy's pulse quickened. He had never been allowed in that sector. "You're showing me a secret," he said. "Something the others can't see." A technician stepped forward hesitantly. Do you think it's dangerous?" The boy shook his head. "Not if we listen. If we don't, it could be deadly." He stood slowly, hand brushing the alien's back. "We need to investigate. Together." The hatch hissed open as the boy approached, the alien at his side, muscles tensed, glowing softly. Beyond the door lay darkness, the unknown, and the faint hum of machinery that no one else had noticed. The boy felt his heartbeat surge with excitement and fear. He had uncovered something the adults had missed, something alive and intelligent. And it trusted him enough to lead him into it. One engineer muttered under his breath, shaking his head. "That kid, he's not just a genius. He's something else." The boy ignored them. He stepped forward into the darkness, alien close, every sense alert. He knew he was on the edge of a discovery that could change everything about the station, about humans, about alien life. The hum of the alien pulsed with him, guiding, warning, communicating. He had learned a hidden language, one no adult could grasp, and it had opened a door to secrets even the engineers dared not touch. As the hatch closed behind them, the boy's lips curved into a determined smile. Danger waited, yes, but he had an ally, a friend, a being that could speak in ways no one else could hear. And he would follow it wherever it led. The station would never be the same, not after this night. Not after a human and an alien had begun to understand each other in ways no one else could imagine. The boy had thought the alien's trust made him safe, that understanding it meant they could face anything together. He was wrong. He didn't see the jealousy that festered in the shadows. One of the senior scientists, tall and sharp-eyed, had watched him since the night of the power surge. Every whispered word, every click the boy spoke to the alien, every motion of the creature's tail, it had fueled envy, a dangerous kind that simmered beneath his calm exterior. "Kid, we need to test it," the scientist said one morning, voice smooth but edged with menace. "It's unpredictable. I think it's time I take over." The boy narrowed his eyes, stepping back instinctively. "You can't. It won't listen to you." "Oh, I think it will," the scientist said, smirking, tapping the alien's flank with a small device that emitted a low-frequency pulse. The creature's eyes flared, chest vibrating, muscles tensing in warning. Its growl echoed through the lab, a sound that made metal racks shiver. "Stop," the boy shouted, stepping forward, heart pounding. "It trusts me. You can't force it." The scientist's smirk twisted into frustration. "It will do what I command. I control this station. I decide who lives and who learns." The alien roared, and sparks of energy arced across the room, striking the floor. The boy froze, knowing the creature wasn't attacking blindly. It was defending him, understanding his fear, sensing the betrayal. The lab filled with tension so thick it made the air taste metallic. "Kid, back away," a technician yelled, pulling him to the side. "It's going to." Before she could finish, the alien lunged at the scientist, not in violence but in warning. Its massive body pinned him against the wall, tail swishing like a whip, claws scratching metal, just close enough to scare, far enough to avoid serious harm. The scientist barked orders, panic creeping into his voice. "Do something. It's out of control." "I told you," the boy shouted, stepping between them. "It's not out of control. It's loyal to me. Your anger, your jealousy, makes you dangerous. It knows it." The alien's chest glowed brightly, vibrating against the boy's hand. It leaned close, almost nuzzling him, a sign of connection, trust, and understanding. The boy's heart raced, adrenaline and fear mixing into focus. He spoke softly, in the tones the creature had begun to understand perfectly. The alien's movements slowed, its eyes meeting the boy's. A calm settled over it, a pulse of awareness, and the danger did not vanish, but the creature waited for his command. The senior scientist glared, chest heaving, his arrogance clashing with fear. "This is ridiculous. You're just a child." "I'm the one it trusts," the boy said, voice rising, firm, unwavering. "And it's smarter than anyone here. Smarter than you. If you try to control it, you'll destroy yourself." The scientist snarled, fumbling with the device again. Sparks shot out, small arcs of electricity skittering across the floor. The alien lashed out instinctively, knocking it from his hands. Metal clanged. He stumbled backward, and a container of volatile chemicals tipped, hissing and leaking smoke into the lab. The boy's stomach dropped. The station could explode in minutes if the reaction continued. "Help me," he yelled to the remaining engineers. "We have to contain it. Quick." The alien sprang into action, guided by the boy's soft commands. It nudged crates into place, absorbing sparks with its glowing body, shifting panels to redirect leaking energy, working faster than any human could. The boy followed, heart pounding, calling instructions in cues and clicks and tones only the alien could fully interpret. Each second was razor thin, and the air smelled of smoke, metal, and fear. The senior scientist tried one last attempt to regain control, lunging toward the creature. The alien growled, low and menacing, but stayed near the boy, not attacking him, only warning. The boy stepped forward, hands out, speaking with calm authority. The alien relaxed slightly, still tense, still protective, but letting him mediate. "You made your choice," the boy said, voice quiet but deadly. "You chose anger. You chose control over understanding. That's your weakness." The scientist froze, chest heaving, his own fear finally breaking through arrogance. Around them, the lab was a chaos of smoke, sparks, and trembling machinery. But the alien and the boy moved like a single unit, synchronized, unstoppable. The threat of destruction ebbed as they regained control, the glow of the alien's scales lighting the lab like a small sun. When the danger finally passed, the boy slumped against the alien, chest heaving. The creature's tail curled around him protectively, its eyes softening, almost proud. Engineers cautiously approached, wide-eyed, silent in awe. The senior scientist remained frozen, the anger in his face replaced with reluctant respect, and maybe the first hint of fear. You saved the station," one of the engineers said, voice shaking. I didn't think. I didn't save it alone," the boy said, fingers brushing the alien's back. "We saved it together. You can't force trust. You can't demand loyalty. You earn it. That's what they laughed at me for, and now they see why it matters." The senior scientist looked away, his pride wounded. The boy's gaze never left him, but there was no malice. Just quiet certainty. He had survived betrayal. He had earned the alien's trust. And now, more than ever, he knew that the path ahead would be dangerous. But he had allies, intelligence, and courage no one else could match. In the still smoldering lab, the boy whispered a soft click, almost a song. The alien's chest pulsed in response. Their bond had survived human jealousy, had faced near disaster, and had come stronger. The station would remember this day, not for the senior scientist's fury, nor the panic of the engineers, but for the small human who spoke a language no one else could hear, and the alien that chose him above all others. The alarms screamed across the station, louder and more urgent than anything the boy had ever heard. Red lights flashed, warning of a catastrophic failure in the main reactor. Engineers ran in every direction, shouting into intercoms, panic thick in the air. He felt his heart hammer in his chest, but fear did not stop him. Not now. Not ever. The alien at his side growled low, tail swishing, muscles taut and ready. Together they could face what no one else could. "Everyone get to the emergency pods," a technician yelled, eyes wide with terror. "The reactor is going critical." The boy shook his head. "No. The pods won't save anyone if the station explodes. We have to stabilize the reactor." One of the senior engineers froze. "How? We've tried everything. The system's failing too fast." The boy glanced at the alien, its glowing scales reflecting the red lights. It hissed softly, sensing the boy's determination. He took a deep breath, then spoke in the clicks and tones the creature had come to understand. The alien responded instantly, lunging forward, muscles coiled like springs. Sparks danced dangerously across the floor as the massive creature moved with precision, nudging panels, pressing switches, and clearing debris. Every movement was guided by the boy's voice, every action a dance of understanding between human and beast. "They listen to you?" an engineer whispered, disbelief laced with hope. "Yes," the boy said, voice calm but urgent. "They understand more than we ever could. They know how to fix this, but I have to guide them." The alien's hum intensified as it reached the central control chamber, massive claws gripping the floor as it manipulated levers and panels. The boy followed, his small hands pressing buttons, turning valves, adjusting readings according to the alien's subtle signals. Sparks flew, metal groaned, and the temperature climbed dangerously high. The air was thick with smoke and tension, yet the boy's mind worked faster than the panic around him. Every pulse, every vibration from the alien told him exactly what needed to be done. "Kid, the core's venting," a technician shouted, pointing to the glowing reactor. Steam hissed violently and molten energy spilled dangerously close. The boy didn't flinch. He knelt, whispering tones, and the alien's massive head tilted, sensing the pattern of the leak. It pressed its weight against the vent, using its body to stabilize it, then nudged a floating panel into place to redirect energy surges. The boy's fingers flew across controls, adjusting pressure, rerouting power, and balancing the reactor's unstable core. His pulse raced, adrenaline and focus entwined. Sparks sprayed dangerously close, and a floor panel collapsed with a deafening crash, but the alien moved instantly, shielding him with its massive body. This is insane, one engineer gasped, eyes wide as he watched the impossible unfold. The boy ignored him. He had one goal: survive, stabilize, and prove what humans could achieve with understanding and courage. He whispered again, carefully modulating tones, guiding the alien through the final, delicate adjustments. The creature's glowing chest pulsed, matching the rhythm of the core itself, creating a feedback loop of energy and instinct. Slowly the temperature dropped, the alarms stilled, and the red lights shifted to a soft, steady green. The engineers stared in awe, barely daring to breathe. The boy collapsed onto the floor, chest heaving, the alien curling protectively around him, its eyes bright and intelligent. He reached out, stroking its scaled head. "We did it," he whispered, voice trembling from exhaustion and relief. The senior scientist, who had once tried to betray him, stepped forward, pale and shaken. I didn't think," his words faltered. The boy looked at him, eyes steady. "You doubted me. You tried to control what you couldn't understand. That's why you failed." The scientist swallowed, pride wounded but respect dawning. You saved the station. And the alien, it obeyed you." "Yes," the boy said simply. "Not obeyed. It trusted me. Understanding is stronger than force. You'll see that if you pay attention." Technicians and engineers moved closer, murmuring in disbelief, slowly realizing that the small human who had been laughed at, dismissed, and underestimated had done what none of them could. He had spoken to the alien, understood it, and together they had saved the station. The boy looked around, chest still racing, mind alive with possibilities. "This is just the beginning," he said quietly, mostly to himself. The alien nudged him gently, a sign of agreement, and his pulse steadied with newfound confidence. They had faced disaster, human envy, and technological failure, and had won because he had listened, learned, and trusted in a way no adult could. In the silence after the storm, the boy's eyes met the glowing eyes of the alien. No words were needed. A bond had been forged stronger than metal, deeper than instinct, and unbreakable. Around them humans whispered, amazed, grateful, and humbled. A small human had reminded them all what courage, curiosity, and understanding could achieve. The boy stood slowly, brushing dust from his sleeves, his gaze unwavering. "We saved everyone," he said. "But there's more out there. More mysteries, more life, more challenges. And we'll face them. Together." The alien let out a soft hum, tail curling around his legs. The station system stabilized fully, the threat gone, yet the thrill of discovery lingered. No one would laugh at him again. Not after seeing what a little human genius, armed with curiosity and understanding, could accomplish against impossible odds. The boy stepped toward the observation deck, the alien at his side, looking out into the vast darkness of space. Stars glittered like secrets waiting to be uncovered. And he smiled, ready for whatever came next.